Yeah? Speeding? Okay, cool. I remember last time, actually the time before last that I spoke to you, when we were on the bus heading down to the Capitol Tower.
Yeah.
You were talking about Big Thing at the time. It was sort of maybe at the same point before the release of Big Thing that this is as to Liberty. And you said that Big Thing, what you liked about it a lot was that it was sort of a really rude, kind of in-your-face record.
Yeah.
And
turned out really, it's got a lot of guitar in it. I think that really shows, and because the guitar was there right from the writing stage. I think at least 6 of the songs on the album started life as riffs. You know, I listened back to a tape the other night, which we did in the shack in the south of England where we wrote the stuff, and in this one sort of 2-hour tape of music that was recorded one afternoon, I identified 8 different songs that Warren had been, 8 separate ideas that Warren had put down, and of which 3 made it onto the album. And it's like that now. You know, our ideas come thick and fast, and it's really a question of just grabbing onto them as quick as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like that shadow, cameraman? My shadow. We like that.
Make little animals.
Professional, MTV, yeah.
Is it like a consensus? Everyone seems to be happy with that the guitar orientation of the record and of the band, perhaps?
We're just happy with each other, you know. It works. There's nothing else to it. After the intensity and concentration and the tenseness, no, that's the wrong word, isn't it? What is the word? Tension. That's the one. The tension and the torsion of Big Thing, and it was a very tense album. It was difficult. It was uphill. It just was so free and easy to work on this one. It was just a breeze. You know, we'd go in there, we'd lay out by the pool in this sort of country house, and then get into the shack and write songs. And it's how it's supposed to be. It's how we started. And we all feel so comfortable and relaxed about that. I think it just freed us up and let all the good ideas come out.
Sterling and Warren had already played with, certainly Sterling had toured and Warren had played on the last record, and it wasn't like they were completely new to the way you work and everything. How much was it just really a technicality making them official members, or did it really change the way you work?
Well, it was a technicality, but for us, for Nick, John and I, it was a big jump. It really was. When you've been together for 10 years, you tend to get a little bit precious about something like a group, and there was no way we're just going to let the first people who came along just walk straight in without trying them out. It so happened they were the first people who walked along. Well, not as far as... Yeah, I think he was, because Steve Brony was never intended to be a member of the group. He never wanted to be. He liked his freedom. And I think he wouldn't have fitted in actually as a member of the group. He fitted in very well in the way he was. Sterling, on the other hand, just wanted to be in a group, and he made that very obvious right from the beginning. He said, "Well, I don't want to just be a session musician for you guys. I want to have some future. I want to have a career." He likes that. He doesn't want to be on his own, that's very interesting, because we all feel the same way. We don't want to go off and make solo records. We don't particularly want to work with other people. We really want to have something that we understand and know to the utmost to work with. And I think the decision to bring them in was really, it was a very natural one. It came at a very natural time. We'd finished the tour for Big Thing, and we knew that we had the best band that we'd ever had on the road. It was, you saw it. You saw us play at the car park. Right. And it was just brilliant. But at the end of that tour, we felt so good with each other, in all sorts of different ways. Personality-wise, being the foremost, I think, and on stage musically, we just knew that was the right thing. So we just put the wheels in motion, and 3 months later, bits of paper were passed around, and Warren and Sterling suddenly became full members of Duran Duran. They participate with us on the writing, and they are part of decision making. And they're part of the financial side of it. It's a whole democratic 5-piece again.
And relinquishing some of that, decision making wasn't particularly difficult at that point, when finally you made the decision to let them, come in and do that.
Well, it was difficult in a way, because you get used to being the boss, and you get used to having, or a third of the boss, which myself, Nick and John were. And there are still times when I'll stop myself, because I'll kind of be starting to pull rank on them, and then I'll pull myself back and think, no, you can't do that anymore, man. They've just got as much say as you have.
Yeah.
And it's just it's something you've got to get used to, really.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
Duran, as we once knew it, I mean, could not have come out of this country. It was a creation of England. I mean, it came out of England, could never have emerged from this country. Now you have room, or the music that you make has room, allows for two Americans, and two, I think, guys with basically American styles of playing.
Absolutely.
I mean, what do you think what's changed about the nature of Duran that allows for two Americans to be part of it?
I don't think it is the nature of Duran Duran. I think it's the nature of music in general that's changed. In fact, I think the most interesting things on the music scene are now coming out of America, despite the Manchester scene, which I think is a bit of the Emperor's New Clothes. I actually think the most, house music came out of America, rap music's come out of America. This is where it's happening, it really is. This is where the best bands who come spring to my mind of the last year are De La Soul, Bill Berth DeVoe, that sort of stuff. Yeah. And and I think this is where it's happening. And we're not interested in patriotism or that kind of national chauvinism. We don't feel that the identity of Duran Duran has been compromised by that. We just wanted to make it better, and I think we have.
What struck me as ironic listening to this record is that it seems like this record in particular is so much, at least the way...
Sorry, can I stop? I said Bill Bev DeVoe, it's not, isn't it? It's Bell Biv DeVoe.
I thought you said...
No, I got it wrong. Oh. Sorry, guys.
Sorry about that. Sorry. It struck me that this record in particular is probably closer to what I always thought your one-time guitarist, Mr. Taylor, would have liked Duran to have been, or sounded like. You think that's right or wrong?
Yes, I think he would have liked to have been in this group. I think he would have very much, but I don't think we had any chance of getting to this state if he continued with the group. Because although he was a superb technician, he wasn't really a particularly innovative guitar player. He was very versatile, and he still is. He's still a great guitarist. But he doesn't really do anything that makes you go, wow, I've never heard anything like that before. Which Warren's doing every bloody day. Mm-hmm. He gets at home, he's got this studio in a suitcase which he sets up in his living room, and he produces an hour of music every week, mm-hmm. and it just sounds like nothing you've ever heard before. And with that kind of creative force now in the group, it's pushing everybody forward. We all have to get up to that standard, sort of creatively. The excitement that surrounds us now when we go into the studio is phenomenal, because we're doing something that's new. And we've always felt that we should be on the cutting edge of music. We don't want to just hang back and follow trends or do our own thing and wave goodbye to the rest of it. We like to be kind of leaders, and we attempt that. We try to do that. And I think with this record we're starting to succeed it as well.
Lyrically, it seemed like, was big thing sort of, in terms of a number of tracks, was more cerebral. Very pelvic orientation to Liberty, it seems to me. Very sexual orientation. Was that a big part of when you were writing these songs?
Not more songs about fucking?
Yeah, exactly.
No, actually, I think it comes back to a more basic thing than that. Actually, I think it's more instinctively physical, actually, than more sexual, and because I think physical music is inherently sexual anyway. Mm-hmm. It's the idea of the groove, really, and the groove really ruled this one. Although we were trying very hard to sort of keep up with modern trends in Big Thing. You see, that's a mistake we were making, which we're not making now. We were much truer to our own instincts with this one. And the groove is something which starts in the pelvis. Mm-hmm. That's where all kind of beat dancing starts. Yeah. It doesn't start in your head. It's not something you think about. It starts with your hips moving and your spine jerking. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it sexual. It is. It's an imitation. It's an imitation of the sex act. It really is. Dancing is. It's used to attract people. You go to the dance floor and see what guys are doing in front of girls. They're going, hey, this is what I'm like. Women say they can tell what a guy's like in bed by the way he dances.
Sure.
So when we go into the studio, the first thing that has to work is the groove. We have to have that for our own pride, because we like to affect people in that way. And also because if it wasn't grooving, we'd lose interest in it very quickly, and the song would just get shelved.
Mm-hmm. The Violence of Summer, for instance, it's got a real sexy lyric in a video. It's like, I don't remember since maybe Hunger Like the Wolf, something that sort of, that violent, sexual kind of thing going there. Is that just something about that song?
I,
that